Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. You're a salt adult.
The one I'm looking for. You know how many fingerless gloves I have for this show? A lot. I have a lot of fingerless gloves.
I think I have some fingerless gloves nearby. I could match you.
Very good. I like your background this week. Very cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I figured I should switch it up a little bit.
We are on set. I'm never not on set. This is my set. But this is my second unit stuff while I'm doing special effects and finishing them up for the next episode of License to Play. This show has been crazy. So there'll be my little new... Have you seen the videos when I put them out? The news intro videos?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so when I put them up, I put it's called Way Too Late News, and we're just talking about what's going on with the Lego thing. But then I also add stuff about gaming news occasionally. But it begins with the Muppet News Flash from Sesame Street music.
Sure.
And it says News Flash. So that's going on right now, and then we'll go ahead and start with my intro, and then should I let you play the audio, or should I? I think I will.
I can if you need me to. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it if I just play it on my computer.
No, I'll play it here. Just I gotta get to the folder. Oh boy, all these folders and windows. There we go. All right. Hi everyone, welcome to Way Too Late News. I am your host, Commander Dan, and this is Brian.
Hello.
Brian, our secret agent who went to Bricks and Minifigs, and we're going to be talking about that today. But before we begin our Bricks and Minifigs discussion, how about a shout out for Danhausen, number 0 of the Knicks, who uncursed them, and they go and win in 5. This is a very wrestling centric thing, but it blew my mind that they went on Kimmel last night. Or not Jimmy Kimmel. They went on the Tonight Show, and the Knicks just admitted it. Yeah, he uncursed us because, he totally did. 53 years without a win, and they win. He deserves all the human monies he gets. Now, Brian, last week we were talking about what happened with Bricks and Minifigs. I know I learned a legal term last time. It was called ex parte, meaning without one side's participation. Meaning that's what the judge in Utah did by shutting down Reckless Ben's Patreon, his YouTube channel, and other outlets for him to tell his story. I joined his Patreon just to get updates when I could, and I did get one this morning. It's very important that we talk about that, but first, I said but first. But first, we're going to talk about a little mission we had. I asked you to go into Bricks and Minifigs here locally.
Yes.
If you've watched the other shows, you know what locally means to us, but I'm not going to bring it up on this broadcast. And we'll play the beginning of this. I have the audio.
I'll set it up, I think, to give an idea
Brian,
of where this audio comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, give us a setup for what happened and for what the mission was.
So I did record from my pocket. We're not going to play the whole thing. I don't want to, even though it is technically legal, I don't want to play a whole audio of somebody who's recorded without them knowing. So we're just going to play a setup. So I went into Bricks and Minifigs middle of the day on a weekday. And I expected it to be empty. That's kind of why I went in the middle of the day. Surprisingly, it was not. There were 4 or 5 maybe different groups of people who came in and out while I was there.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I was there for about 15 minutes. I chatted the guy up a little bit, and then I was I was wandering around. I was curious if anybody else would ask, like if anybody else would walk in and ask the same thing I was going to ask, because I imagine he's getting that question a lot.
Sure.
Nobody did while I was there. And then, so he was talking to a bunch of the other customers, and I didn't want to bust into the middle and be like, "Hey, tell me about the controversy." So I will admit,
let me make you uncomfortable.
I spent $1, and I spent that $1 so I could get him away from the other customers to the register. And then I figured he would be less upset if I ask him while I am literally paying him. So
right.
I'm sorry, do as I say, not as I do. I spent $1 there. So this is the recording isn't anything great because it is from my pocket. But this audio clip that we'll play is how I broached the topic to him.
And foremost is that he recorded the whole conversation and then transcribed it. We talked about this prior to this actual broadcast, and I feel the same way. I think we do live in a state where it is one party consent. So long as one party knows, and we're not doing it for criminal reasons or tortious reasons, we can record him and play it however we like. But it did feel to me at the time, and still does, that if we did that to them, it sure seems like stuff they would have done to Reckless Ben or the people they stole from.
Yeah. So you mainly hear me here. You do hear him a little bit, though. It'll give you the idea
of
kind of how it went down.
All right. My volume's all
probably sick of the question, but how's everything going with Grander, Bricks and Minifigs?
The problems.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. Just,
yes.
if you want to read from your transcript, I heard it great, and at home, if you heard it, great. But let's go over it again. What I'm pretty sure I heard was, what do you think of Bricks and Minifigs and the Grander?
I should have thought out exactly how I was going to say it, but I started to say, how's everything going with the bigger, and you hear him give a little.
He already
he almost like a little sigh and then a little laugh.
Yeah, he chuckled, and there was an acknowledgement, and he said, "Oh yeah," and it sounded to me like he knew what was coming.
Absolutely. So he goes, the problems, and I'm like, yeah. Okay, I'll break this down into a couple chunks, and we can talk through it here. So first, he says, it's like it doesn't really affect anything we do here too much, other than like you get some annoying phone calls from people harassing us. Right off the bat, okay, so he's getting it. It sounds like there aren't people harassing him in person, but he is getting harassing phone calls.
And that's probably just folks online. And this is for everyone online. Hi, everybody. Hi to all my new Space Pirates and subscribers. Please, if you like what we do, please like and subscribe. I would love that. I'm this close to being able to be monetized and actually bring you someplace other than second, like my area would actually be for, special effects and stuff. My effects will be more effects and less special, if you understand what I'm saying. So there's that. And secondly, if you are on here watching this and you've been following this whole time, please don't call your local Bricks and Minifigs, or even outside Bricks and Minifigs. It can be a problem for them because they may not be involved in this at all. They are, for example, the local McDonald's. They are not McDonald's themselves. I know it's hard to understand sometimes, but no harassment at all. And we didn't do this to harass. We did this just to find out. And it sucks that we, the people, have to be the investigative journalists. But it seems like if you go in there guns a-blazing, you're not going to get the truth out of these folks. And not this store particularly, but I'd rather err on the side of hidden cameras than them seeing a camera and telling you the party line. That being said, sorry, Brian, to have interrupted. Please continue.
No, that's absolutely fine. Okay, then he says, you get annoying phone calls from people harassing us. I was like, yeah, sure, I can imagine. And he goes, and it's like, we've got nothing to do with it. Just leave us alone. Okay, yes and no. Sorry, that's me interjecting.
Yeah, no, okay.
You don't have nothing to do with it, but also you specifically we'll talk about that more as we go through here. He said, it's like, yeah, I understand you're operating under the name and you're mad about the name, but don't take it out on me when I've got nothing to do with it. Okay, so that, again, goes to what you were saying earlier. This individual guy very far away from where the theft happened.
Right.
Very
We're in
far
Wisconsin.
away from corporate.
That's happening in Utah and Oregon.
Yeah.
However,
exactly.
It is McDonald's. It's over 1 billion
Yes.
served. They're in every state. If Ronald McDonald stabbed somebody on television, every McDonald's would have to have something to say about it, even if they had nothing to do with it, or maybe don't have a McDonald's anymore. I don't know. But please continue. But the annoyance may just be a thing that you live with.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of my first job was at a customer service desk at a grocery store, at a grocery store chain. And one of the locations on the other side of the state had an issue where apparently for a couple of hours throughout a day, it double charged everyone, like charged their credit card twice.
Wow.
That sucks. Obviously, that shouldn't have happened. I worked at the customer service desk at a different location and just had people coming in going, "What do I do if I was double charged?" And I'm like, "Were you double charged?" And they're like, "No, but your company can't be doing this, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I get it. I agree. We're a different location. It's difficult.
Right, right.
I understand where the customers were coming from, but I also see it from the sales, from the company side as well.
And I've worked
yeah.
retail too. I've worked a retail position at Disney. I sold ice cream, and I had similar, like, oh boy, why
Yeah.
don't you charge tax? We do charge tax, including the price of everything we sell, so that you don't pay extra. You don't pay anything outside of it. We've priced everything with the tax included. Oh right, like the price of your ice cream is just $5 for making. Yeah, it is. It's actually probably like $3.98, and then we add tax on it to make it $5.
Yeah.
That's why next year it's probably going to be $7, or however much it is now. I don't even want to guess. But if you've worked retail, you get like, man, these days it seems like the democratization of also offense and taking umbrage makes a job harder. I just want to say that Bricks and Minifigs, y'all don't have a good, like, you already have been presented as being put upon for stealing. And then you've put out this thing like, how dare you accuse of exactly what we did? You guys suck. And now you put that brand on the building you're selling your Legos from or buying Legos from. I'm saying that it is quicker for I understand you didn't buy problems. That's not what you bought. However, the reality is I sent Brian over there to talk to you about it. So let's continue.
Yes. Yeah. So, right. Like we were saying, so in that last paragraph, essentially, you're not mad at me, you're mad at the store name. And I agree with that, but it's
exactly.
line of,
boy,
where is the separation,
tried
because
to
it is
blow it
your
off like,
store.
oh, it wasn't me. It's like,
yeah,
but it was.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then he says, and that's the other thing. Most people see these stores and they say, hey, this is blank's. I think he said his actual name. I'm not going to say. He said, hey, this is blank store. This is Janesville so-and-so store. It's not Bricks and Minifigs Janesville. It's blank's store. I disagree with him there. Because he says, most people see the stores and think that. I don't really think that's true. I think most owners, this was the owner, I believe, by the way, most owners see it as, hey, this is my store up in Madison, Bricks and Minifigs, that's so-and-so store. Over in Milwaukee, that's so-and-so store. And maybe they're like hardcore shoppers and people who are there a lot see it that way. But I don't think that's how the general public sees it, or the general Lego fan like myself.
And you can't have it both ways. You can't have it like, they can't blame me. I'm Bob, and this is Bob's Bricks and Minifigs. Right, but they somehow see it as Bob. No, they don't. You can't put it on your sign. They see it as Bricks and Minifigs. You're part of a behemoth, large organization. And while the truth is, Bob, you own this one, and it's different from others, I don't know. I want to say that we'll continue, but for me now, this has been two blips of he's acting exactly like corporate. It's like he's got the emails and he's telling us we're wrong. And it's like, wrong about what? You know what? I don't care. Let's continue. Brian, how was his demeanor, though?
No, I agree. I disagree with him probably the most there, where it's like, I don't think that's how the average person sees it. The average person sees you as a Bricks and Minifig and doesn't even know that you are the owner.
Right. And it's not their job to know that Jeff owns Bricks and Minifigs in Janesville. Bricks and Minifigs is in Janesville. That's what they know. Most average shoppers, like you said.
Yeah. And then the final, right after that, he said, we operate under the name because it was the most convenient way to enter business. And that, I will say, is the thing that kind of gave me the most sympathy for him, because it made me think, like, I'm a Lego fan. I have thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I owned my own Lego store? And, if I had actually pursued that, I am sure it's much easier to get a franchise than to fully start your own company and open your own store. So if I had actually pursued that, I probably would have seen Bricks and Minifigs and been like, oh, they're the biggest in the country and it's easy to start a franchise under them.
100%.
Of course I would go that direction.
Yeah. 100%.
So that is the one thing that he said that I was like, yeah, that's rough. I I assume this guy has nothing to do with the scandal. I basically guarantee it. But it's not that ridiculous in my mind to imagine myself being in the exact same situation that he's in right now. I was a fan. I wanted to start a store. That was the easy way to start the store. Now I might be screwed with this whole thing going down. So again, that is not me telling you to take sympathy on the company.
No.
That is not me telling you to spend money there. But he said that, and I did feel for the guy.
Yeah, and like we said, there's no need to harass this guy. He's probably not wanting all of that. However, basic business. If you buy a franchise, you buy the baggage.
You bought the brand,
and I'm going to pause it just for a second. Is that a Sankara stone behind you?
Yes, it is.
Oh, man.
That is a scan of one of the original
That
props.
is rad.
Specifically, I can point out exactly what scenes it is because most of the times the
glow?
scars, I don't know how well you can see this.
Yeah,
the scars are on the
deck.
same side as this divot, but they have some versions of the prop that's just in some scenes where the scars are on the opposite sides of the divot. So I can point in the movie and say exactly where that.
It's a non-hero.
Yes,
it's non-glowing. It's one of the first ones that falls out of the bag. If I'm recalling correctly, and I have a weird memory, so I remember a lot of silly things.
Not to go too far down the rabbit trail, but the whole continuity is very weird.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's holding it, one of them in one shot, and then it switches to the next shot, and he's holding a completely different one type of thing. So, anyway.
But that's awesome. Oh, and you met Ann this weekend. So Ann's who I bought that the Chester Cobblepot's Copper Bones key for Goonies.
Oh, yeah.
I bought it for her for her birthday.
Cool.
All right, so back onto it. What's the next part?
So that is about it. He said, we operate under the name because it was the easiest way to get into the business. And that pretty much seemed like the last thing he had to say. And I said, okay, well, thanks. I wish you the best. And I left.
Can I ask what you spent the buck on?
What's that?
What'd you spend the buck on?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It is a beater version. It wasn't a particularly well-kept one of an old Star Wars torso I had been looking for.
Oh, cool. There you go. You found what you're looking for. And by the way, if everything were a perfect world, Bricks and Minifigs, I've heard. Great store if you're a Lego collector. Great store to meet other collectors. Great store to bring your kids to. Great store for all the good stuff. But you guys shut down Reckless Ben, and everyone assumes now forever. But I have news. So, local store is getting the problems as well. That was the hope that I would hear some news about what was going on, and unfortunately, I heard what you probably expected. People who are very, very much online bugging these guys, and I don't want that to happen at all. Please don't bug your Bricks and Minifigs stores. However, this morning from Reckless Ben, we're gonna go to that here on my side of things. I have the Patreon.
Legal battle with.
All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to play this on my screen.
As you can see, we are definitely in America right now. And if you don't believe us, how could the Lincoln Memorial be behind us if we weren't in America? That's obviously a place that's in America.
Yeah. This wall right here, see, it's very real.
Well, let's touch the wall.
100% in America.
That is a real wall. From my understanding, that's...
Okay. That's to let you know that Reckless Ben will be back on the 30th of June with the third part of his documentary.
Really?
Yeah, his temporary restraining order has been lifted.
Wow.
And
okay.
The rumors are, these are just rumors that I've heard, is that his lawyer, his First Amendment lawyer, is really pushing hard for a change of venue from Utah to California. And has put in dozens of orders about how this is corrupt and da-da-da. Utah is freaking out. And I'm not saying this Utah court. The state of Utah is now talking about how they need to buckle down on YouTube and it's not going to work, Utah. Cat's out of the bag. Wow. Apparently there is this idea of a Mormon mafia, and it's not from today or this year even. It's from long ago, and now the chickens are coming home to roost as if Link had kicked 4 of them 5 or 6 times in a row. They're just coming home to roost, which is good to hear. And I'm psyched to see the third part of that documentary.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Because last week, was it Monday?
Yeah.
Last week, Monday, he announced that he wouldn't be able to say anything about He says the company.
he was
Bricks and Minifigs.
I believe the term is gag order. Yeah.
Yes, and I'll admit I was not surprised. Like even if he hadn't had a gag order, generally speaking, once lawyers start getting involved in everything, even your own lawyer will tell you, don't say anything to anybody. Just keep it on the DL. So
Legal Minds said that. He was like, the problem with Bricks and Minifigs is they were too willing to talk to this guy openly and frankly and really bullyish, and like, it's like they should have said nothing. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. Would have been better.
Yeah.
Oh, more news is good news in this case. The GoFundMe got restored. So it looks like no matter what happens with this Bricks and Minifigs thing and Reckless Ben, his friends are getting the legal help they need to make sure they don't get criminally, charged with anything. So that's great. His TRO is up at the end of this month. That's great. And now Bricks and Minifigs have been on an apologies tour, saying that it was all the fault, not of Ammon, who is the guy who owns it, who owns all of it, who had been advising this guy on the phone.
Who was yelling at the police to find something to arrest Ben over.
The guy who's given the cops cop lessons. Well, the statute for harassment is such and such and such. It's like, oh, it sounds like you've done this before, you weird mustachioed douche. Well, guess what? As my boy Sonic says, that is no good. You're going to be out of chili dogs here in just a minute, buddy. And no one's buying his word. Like, he gets onto shows that ought to be friendly to him. Like these, like Bricks and Minifigs adjacent podcasts. Not that, oh man, and if you could sit through it, all in favor, I have to say, that is pure propaganda for the Church of Latter-day Saints. It had nothing to do with this. It was cleaning up their side of things, distancing them from it. But then they mention it that, hey, the Marriott family is Mormon and they give us trillions of dollars. It's like, okay, we've set a price. Now you're open to being bribed. We just have to reach the right amount. I'm going to flip through Deuteronomy, see if we need to, maybe because I didn't know bribery was on the table for everybody. Great. I've been living my life pretty morally, I will say. And if that's in there, I'd have done a lot of things different. I'd be cursing people all day, just like Danhausen. Funny because my name is Dan Hauser. It's another one.
I know. I was looking at that.
I know. It's another one universe. Doogie Howser. That lasted for far too long. The show was canceled after like 2 years. Oh, so you're like a doctor or something? Yeah. That's why I'm here at Best Buy. Dr. Doogie Howser's selling you a laptop, douche. That's a personal issue. It is a soul-wrenching issue. But, moreover...
Did you see the CoffeeZilla video?
No.
Okay. That was interesting. So I was not familiar with the channel, but all the comments are saying he is the FBI of YouTube. And he did he interviewed everyone, including the previous owner of the
the couple
there, and both. I keep forgetting the guy's name, but you just said it. The actual owner appeared on video, interviewed with this guy.
Right. There's Josh Johnson, who owned the store with another fellow.
That
was the owners of the Bricks and Minifigs, but Ammon is the guy who owns Bricks and
Ammon,
Minifigs.
thank you. I keep forgetting his name. Yeah, he interviews Ammon
Mario
on
Mustachio.
video. As well as the former owners, and gets both of their breakdown of what exactly went down leading to the closing of the store, and where both parties think.
So CoffeeZilla, I have heard of his channel. Also Moist Critical, Charlie.
Yes.
He has broken down the whole thing. He's piped up when there's been updates. He hasn't said anything today. But again, I don't know if he's on the Patreon as well. But the video that I was showing, I played just a little bit of. For the viewers here on Retro Station 1989, you'll see a little clip of it. It's pretty funny. They're clearly in Washington, D.C., standing in front of the wonderful reflecting pond, which is in the clear green screen that they're using. It's blue and not green. So they are not, I don't know where they are. They said they're in America. And apparently their green screen proves it, but it is a very well done green screen. However,
Yeah.
I don't know that
But
they
anyway.
are not in America. I can't make a claim one way or the other. But they will
With
be
the
back on the
CoffeeZilla
30th.
video. It is interesting. So he gets very honest answers from both
CoffeeZilla,
sides.
right.
I appreciate his neutrality and hearing both sides. It does shed some light on the previous owner, and from what it seems like, their paperwork was not great, the previous owner, and that is to some extent what has led to the confusion. But he also does catch Ammon in some interesting lies.
Right. Oh man. So yeah, their paperwork was
and
bad.
Confronts him to his face about them and tries to get an answer. It's very interesting.
Ooh, that sounds good. Anybody who's still doing journalism out there, you guys are angels. If you're still doing the things that you ought to be doing, because this was just us talking to them, and we had to like set up what would ethically be right and wrong to do, what could be. It was just a 30-second recording, just to get their take on it, and what their take seems to be. I don't deserve all this. It's like you personally, Mr. X behind the counter, no,
but you also
you
can't
are
be upset
carrying
if
the sign on your building because it was quote unquote easier. Does it seem easier now? I mean, sure seems to me like that sign may be heavier than you think it is for your store, but then again, it may blow over. Not if Ammon's out there making comments and like doing wackadoodle shit all over the place, which opinion, I find hysterical. I'm like, why are you still talking? Go back to Utah and be quiet.
The perfect ending to this would be
a big box with his toys in it handed to him. Well,
yes. But literally, if Bricks and Minifigs corporate got shut down and literally every location had the ability to, however it works out, keep their inventory, change their name, and stay a now independent Lego store. Because I imagine it is much more difficult than what I just described, but that, in my opinion, would be the perfect ending.
Because I watch a lot of Red Letter Media, they did talk about this once on a video. They could take the trade dress of Bricks and Minifigs and turn it into a service mark. And then everyone can own a piece of it because the service mark, all it does is note that you have a service and not you. I mean, you can infringe upon it because it doesn't really have their logo, so far as I know, doesn't have anything special in it, other than a Lego brick, which is in fact trademarked and service marked and copyrighted. The IP of Lego is so locked down that you have to have the rights to even suggest that you have a Lego on it. The only thing that's saving them, I think, is that 10% change, which makes it it's like the brick has 8 on it or something. They've done that, and there's no Lego on the little locking knobs. But yeah, they turned to a service mark, and everyone owns their own Bricks and Minifigs. I think Emmon is in a big mess now because he has falsely accused Ben. And don't worry, I'm gonna add my my allegedlys in here. Anytime I say something that legally I'm not positive on, you're gonna get what's his name? The fellow who plays Brian Fellows. It's not Patrice O'Neill. It's Tracy. Tracy. He's from SNL. He's the guy
Tracy Morgan?
Yeah, Tracy Morgan portraying Star Jones. As you know, I am a lawyer. And then anytime he, as Star Jones, would say anything on The View, he'd go, allegedly. Don't worry, those allegedlys will be in there. In fact, I'm going to hire a guy named Allegedly to work on our show. And we just have him come up and he could say, say something out of pocket about Bricks and Minifigs. Brian.
The Bricks and Minifigs is killing puppies in their back room.
Allegedly. And that's who will be there. But that's a puppet from our upcoming episode of License to Play about this game. Oh man, I've got so many props here. I've got one last thing to shoot and then I can put the show up. The Punisher?
Ooh.
But it's actually about the Punisher on Xbox. But both will be featured in the show. Wrapping this up, I'm not likely to shop at a Bricks and Minifigs ever, but that's because I'm not really that into Lego. I did see a Starship Enterprise Lego set that just came out. I was kind of like, oh, you almost did it. You almost pushed me over to being a Lego guy. And then I remembered Jerry Seinfeld's apartment. I didn't get 2/3 of the way through that damn thing, and I was like, the floor! Where did I miss one piece? And the whole floor was ruined. It had been built wrongly.
If you're concerned about the size of the Enterprise, there is a strong rumor that just a bridge is coming out this summer later on.
I would be
a little
interested
smaller, a
maybe
little more
in that.
handleable.
But then again, I mean, I kind of want to buy. I kind of want to get the Playmobil Enterprise because it's literally
sure.
you have to build it. It is a very German. It is very European. It is very a Western European product. So you will have to put in some time, some ability, some decal sticking, which I usually don't like. But man, my collection of Ghostbusters stuff and Back to the Future stuff, just I loved building everything. I built the DeLorean. It came, and I've like got the advent calendars that came out for like. It was like 2010 and 2011. They had like everything from every movie, all the sets and everything came with figures. So I don't know. Playmobil is my level now of like you have to build it. You have to have some engineering, but
Sure,
if you
yeah,
make
yeah.
one mistake, you don't have to go back to the beginning and rebuild it from the bottom. And I don't have
Yeah.
time to do fun builds. Though I did do a build with my youngest sibling. We built the night bus from Harry Potter. That really
Sure.
cool. Is about this big, and it had a little bed inside that would slide around. Which is, man, I'll tell you what, Lego knows how to really use those little half circle plate things to make things look like they're floating to its greatest advantage. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
The land speeder that I have does that. That's why Kevin like that's so neat, you know. But wrapping up, I think we'll meet again on Monday because there's gonna be more stuff. I'm sure of it. We'll talk about the CoffeeZilla video. I think that's what we'll do. I'll take a look at it. I'll break it down. I'll bring the video for you folks at home. I'll intersplice it while we're talking about it. So anything you've got on your mind about this whole situation between now and next Monday? How does this make you feel about Lego as a company? You know, collecting for Lego.
So that is a good question because I was not aware. So Bricks and Minifigs' main thing is secondhand Lego, but they do have a section of new Lego sets, and I didn't know that was provided to them directly by Lego. They are an official Lego retailer.
Outlet. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I did not know that until a week or two ago. Does that affect my view of Lego? Not really. I think they sell to companies that are have done shadier things than Bricks and Minifigs,
Walmart.
but it's right, exactly. But it is
a dedicated outlet
because,
kind of makes me go, okay.
Yeah, I was surprised and it did make me think for sure.
Like I mentioned,
you know,
when
I
we were-
appreciate.
I think was it last week that I mentioned to you, or was it when we were playing D&D, folks? We know each other from outside this show. But I have a friend who works at the Lego Park down in Orlando, and it's just being mentioned. Like the story is being mentioned on property amongst people in management, and they followed up with, and it's the people with accents. That means people with Dutch with the Lego folks ownership accents. We're talking about it too now. There's mentioning it to each other. It's not. It's just a rumble of like, I wonder how this is going to end up. But now they care about how it's going to end up.
And I mean, it's difficult because again, that's an example of Bricks and Minifig is a fan made company essentially. The fact that Lego was cool enough to be like, hey, even though you are selling our product secondhand, which has some debatable legality to it, you know, they could, if they wanted to be a dick, they could try to crunch down on them for that. But instead, they were like, no, we'll support you doing this with our product, even though we aren't necessarily getting a cut. I mean, they kind of, you know, it's cool that Lego did that initially, and now that ended up shooting them in the foot. So I think I said this last time, but again, I hope this doesn't cause Lego to crack down more on
get a black eye
fan-made, fan-driven
Lego
things.
certainly doesn't deserve to be smacked around over this at all. Like they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
and you know the paperwork thing. I thought about it, and I'm like, I bet that's how they thought they would get away with this. because the first owners of that store were kind of hippy-dippy, a writer and another artist. It's like, as an illustrator myself, I have to have a grounded person at my house to help me manage things. If I tried to manage a store as well as do all the artistic stuff I do, I would be terrible at it. I would have the same problems with paperwork. And but luckily, when they heard this was going to happen, they're like, yeah, we're taking it over now. They took every piece of information they could. They turned on the security cameras. They're like, we're going to have to protect ourselves in some way. And so what little they have actually ends up being the most they have on record of Josh Johnson and that guy Ammon and everyone involved lying to them.
Yeah.
And then that they keep lying about that whole, well, we don't do consignment. They were a rogue element in the business. It's like, no, they damn weren't. You guys specifically let them do that because it was lucrative for their area, and you knew you were getting this in. If not, your company wouldn't be advertising this collection at every turn from the point you stole it until the point that this all unraveled like a giant sweater made of spaghetti. It's like you should not have done any of these things. So there is a bit of a cynical old man in my old man chest. And it goes, I'm glad that there's the trifling little theft that they would have gotten away with thousands and thousands of times in the past. And it makes me wonder, did they? But I don't have any thirst for justice that way. I want this one to cause them as many problems as possible because they thought these little people could be pushed around and stomped on. And what they found was a pebble in the shoe named Reckless Ben, who just is determined to do the right thing. I have yet to see him make a video or even be caught somewhere off camera acting unlike himself. I've watched videos of him about other things like McCaney Manor, and he's just like, yeah, man, seems like this guy's just trying to steal from people, or he has some kind of fetish for humiliation, and that's all it is. So not only am I gonna try and put this guy down, put paid to the rumors about this place being a scary haunted house, I'm gonna run my own, and I'm gonna give somebody $20,000, and he did. He did make one of the scariest, I guess, if you're considering the torture that he puts people through and the torture that Ben put people through, which was not really torture, but just funny, like, oh, that sounds awful. He made them eat Tide Pods, but they weren't. They were like gelatin things that were just really dry and nasty tasting. Like, they weren't really Tide Pods, guys. They were just like gelatin things. They're gross, but that's about it. And then he gave away the money. He did all the things that this guy did, but he actually had physical challenges that were pretty crazy. I think somebody did bruise their knee, but it was like, he's a genuinely, weirdly, like, I don't know, like Zelig and like Being There, that old movie Being There. He's 100% the guy you're looking at. And not like, Forrest Gump is a bad example. Forrest Gump seems to be on a special level, but he's literally like the guy you see is the guy you're getting. And he doesn't seem to be duplicitous in that. And that itself already seems like a mental defect these days. And it's not. He's just a genuinely good dude. So, I mean, I agree with that. Being a fan of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. He embodies that. I think if there was anybody who was from San Dimas who ain't from San Dimas, Reckless Ben, man. So that's it for us today here at Way Too Late News. We're going to be coming back about Legos. If there's anything big that happens, Brian, I'll contact you and we'll do another one of these things maybe midweek. And this has been a real joy to do these past couple episodes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Stay tuned for License to Play. If you've never watched my show, I don't think even Brian, my friend, has watched my show. But please do take a look at it. It is a great show. It involves puppets. It involves video games. It's less than 30 minutes. And if you subscribe and you watch the show, I just need more people to watch. That's all. Watch for longer. And I've got a short that I'm putting out that'll probably get my channel canceled. I don't know. But it is a funny joke, and I'm gonna play it because it's fun. Anyway.
All right.
More than anything else we've talked about during this broadcast, in the past or in the future, remember to always, always, always stay retro. Peace.
Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. You're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult.
Throw
throwing out a hissy fit. Your views ain't in the millions, and every up and comer is a threat to what you're dealing. And instead of getting better, you just spout up on your Facebook, crying on your Twitter bit about how bad your case look. In case you didn't get it yet, allow me to rephrase it. You cry more than my 4-year-old. I'm actually amazed. Like you couldn't even see the forest for the trees. The writing's on the wall, literally there to see. How you getting salt that a culture blowing up, man? I think there was a point where you stopped growing up, man. Instead of showing up, man, irrationally mad. Don't appropriate impression like the latest fashion fad. It isn't cool or funny to be acting like an edgelord. You alienate friends, pushing closer to the edge more. I don't know how to say it anyway to make it clear. If you're the one unhappy, then the problem's in the mirror. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. You're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet. You're a salt adult. The net is a repository for the vast expanses of human knowledge and all the technological advances, and I can't say enough how you gotta be open-minded. If you're looking for a fight, then you damn well find it. An axe needs grinding, you're not alone. There's a million other nerds who can bitch and moan and groan about how there's a release date delay of the new game. Man, decrease the cliche of your neckbeard. I'm a fear to the intensity of your love for two characters. You claim I've got some chemistry and they belong together. Every other ship is toast. Call you Cortez when you're like, burn the boat. Say your ship is sunk and you stunk like the blogger who insisted to you. The review versus Harry Potter versus Julia Roberts. The latter's the victor. You're about to make a victim of some asshole hipster. Get upset